My name is Diane Duane, and I have a practice called almosthomeyoga.com. That's my website. I am making this video, it's going to be pretty brief, maybe 15 or 20 minutes, for folks that I met this week at the American Pilgrims on the Camino annual gathering in Black Mountain, North Carolina. Several people asked me for some yoga that would help them prepare for the Camino or stay well on the Camino. And I talked with people who were dealing with injuries, and I thought that this video would be helpful for them as well. So you should know that my interest in the Camino is mainly about how our pilgrimage, our journey, enables us to come back and live with an attitude of gratitude so that we are able to serve others our best. So what we're going to do today is three things. We're just going to ground ourselves, just do a little bit of breathing because that's where yoga starts. It's all about the breath. So the word yoga means to join. So we're just going to join our breath in some movement. And then we're going to move our spine in all 6 directions that it will go. And then we're going to get down on the floor and do a little bit of core strengthening, both front and back side. So if you have trouble getting up and down off the floor, it's something that you could do in bed before you get up, or perhaps on a sofa or like a long, firm coffee table. So a few things that I want to mention before we start. When you're working with a chair, you always want it to be on a sticky, stable surface. So not on a hardwood floor, either on a carpet or on a yoga mat, something like that. Also, you're your own best teacher. It sounds kind of trite. Yoga teachers say it all the time, but it's true. So you know your body, and if something hurts, if it's a sharp shooting pain or the pain intensifies, don't do it. I'll talk a little bit more about the spine and moving safely when we get there. So we're just going to start by recognizing your feet. Right? We do that a lot when we're preparing for the Camino or on the Camino. We pay attention to our feet. Well, they have more bones in the body than any part of our body, more than a quarter of the bones in our body. So we should pay attention to them. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to sit up really, really tall. So bring yourself off the edge of the chair. So have your knees about hip width apart. So that's actually about 2 fist widths. So everybody's hips, they land, what you're sitting on, your sitting bones, they're all about the same distance apart, 2 fist widths, right? So that's how you want your knees and your feet to be in line. And maybe have your heels a little further away from each other so that you feel a little bit pigeon-toed. And then lift all your toes. So if you've got shoes on, take your shoes off. Right, so we're going to lift all our toes, spread them really wide. So if you haven't done a lot of yoga, you might have a hard time spreading your toes. If you spread your fingers wide too, sometimes it happens in your feet. All right, and then you're going to gently take those spread out toes and rest them back on the floor. What you might have noticed is that your arches are starting, the muscles in your arches are starting to pull up, like the ball of your foot and your heel is getting closer together. So that's a nice, really firm foundation. You also might have noticed that just having your knees and your feet in line and those muscle actions in the lower leg and the feet cause your inner thighs to start working. I'll say more about that later too. So then just feel your tailbone rooted into the chair, pull your low belly in, and feel like somebody is lifting you up from the backs of the ears so the back of the neck stays long. Shoulders are soft. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, close your eyes or just gaze down at the floor. And just start to pay attention to your breath. Just inhale and exhale through the nose. Maybe resting one hand on your belly, making sure that it's filling on the inhale, gently pulling toward the spine on the exhale. So that whole Western notion of like the flat belly isn't really helpful. When you're breathing well, your belly is going to expand. So we're going to be here for a couple more breaths. This is going to allow your mind to settle. So that we can set an intention for the rest of our practice. So do a little body check, make sure your feet are still engaged, your knees are in line with your hips. You're reaching up through the backs of the ears. And then think of a person or a group of people for whom you are grateful. And dedicate this practice to them. Inhale deeply. Exhale through the nose all the way out. If your eyes are closed, gently float your eyes open, and we will begin to move. Now, regarding the spine, you should know if you have any structural issues. 3 that come to mind would be any kind of bulging discs, and it's important to know which way they bulge because that will indicate which ways you should and shouldn't move. Sometimes stenosis in the lower back, especially as we get older, that's a narrowing of the spinal column. Arching the lumbar spine, the lower back, is probably not recommended if your stenosis in the lower back. The other thing I can think of, especially for people who are older, 50s and older, there's many out there that are having problems with thinning bones or osteoporosis. And so rounding the upper back is not recommended, so you get those little wedge fractures. So know what's going on with your own spine and find out how it is safe for you to move. If you have questions about that, you can get a hold of me, message me through my website or Facebook, and we can talk about what is safe for you to do. All right, so just lift your shoulders up, back, and down. Right? Shoulder blades dropping down. So the goal pretty much is always to get your shoulders as far away from your ears as possible. Right? So we don't want to do this, especially if you're carrying a pack. You don't want to use these big neck muscles. You want to use the muscles below your shoulder blades. And then just inhale your arms up. Turn your palms facing out and exhale them back down. Nice. Okay. So we're going to go side to side first. Hold one side of the chair, right? Making sure you're nice and stable still in the feet and the legs. Inhale the opposite arm up, and you're going to get really, really long on the inhale, and on the exhale, just pull your low belly in and fold sideways like you're squished between 2 pieces of glass. So you probably can't see my fingertips. They're still reaching out. My shoulders are still dropping toward the waist. If it bothers your neck to look straight forward, you could look down. If you want to challenge yourself a little more on an inhale, maybe rotate your rib cage and gaze at your fingertips. Inhale deeply. Exhale, folding a little more. And on your inhale, come on back to center and exhale. Go right to the other side, inhaling arms up. Get really, really tall. Exhaling over. Squish between 2 pieces of glass, so neither forward nor back. Decide where you want to rest your gaze. One more deep inhale. And exhale, gently release. And then we're going to twist. So if you keep your shoulders level, parallel to the chair and the floor, these twists should be safe for you, right? So then we're not going to compress a disc in any direction. We're just going to leave them in the space. So inhale, get really, really tall. Hold the chair again and exhale. Take your opposite hand to the thigh and start to twist. So just exploring the motion. Keep pulling the low belly in. Get longer on the inhales. Maybe twist a little deeper on the exhale. One more time. Now on your inhale, just turn your nose to the other shoulder and see how that feels in your neck. Good, and come on back to center. Take a breath. Maybe wiggle those toes, spread them out again. Put them down and re-engage the legs. Inhale, get really, really tall. And exhale, twist to the other side. Tall on the inhale. Deepen the twist on the exhale. And then turn your nose to the forward shoulder, just to see how that feels. Good, and gently release. So that's 4 directions, side to side, and twisting both ways, spiraling, right? So when you spiral, you want to think about turning around a rod, right? And now I'm going to turn sideways. You don't need to, right? Just stay on the front edge of your chair. We're going to do a little cat-cow, right? Traditional yoga cat-cow. So on an inhale, you're going to lift your chest, right? Just maybe gazing at where the ceiling meets the wall. You're tilting your pelvis forward, stretching the front side of the body. No crunching in the low back, right? This is about bending the upper back upward. On your exhale, you're going to start from the pelvis, curl your pelvis under, and start to make yourself like a capital C shape. Now you could keep this just in the lumbar spine, or you can let your shoulders come forward and your head fold gently toward your chest. Again, you're your own best teacher. So we're going to just move with the breath now. Inhaling, tilt the pelvis forward, lift. Shoulders draw down. Exhaling, curl the pelvis under, let the nose drop. Arm bones come forward. 3 more times. You might be able to hear my breath. Yoga, we call it ujjayi breathing. It's like fogging a mirror with your mouth closed. It's going to strengthen that mind-heart connection, the big vagus nerve that runs from your brain to your organs. Let's do one more. Are your feet still firm? Back of the neck still long? And then come on right back to neutral. Okay, we're going to stretch the legs a little bit. So I'm going to stay sideways. So one of the things that that you might notice is that your power chain, your glutes, your hamstrings, your calves are all going to get really tight from repetitive motion walking. It causes things like plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendon problems. So we really want to keep our the backs of the legs long, right? So you're going to sit up really, really tall, take one heel out, draw the toes back toward the knee so your foot is flexed, and then there's really no reason to round your spine here. So think about your spine staying long. You might go forward an inch and start to feel that in the back of your leg, or you might be able to fold your chest further towards your thighs. So hold the chair. If you're leaning, make sure you're always leaning into the back of your chair so you don't fall. So the back of the neck is still long. Maybe on an exhale you go a little deeper. So really important to do this before, during, and after your long walks. Inhaling, get really tall. Exhale, switch legs and do the other side. So keep drawing those toes back toward the knee. Adjust your seat on the chair. One more deep inhale and exhale. And come on back up. Okay, so we're going to go to the ground. Often injuries happen in transitions, so we're going to work on getting to the ground safely, right? So your chair's still on a mat or a stable surface, right? I'm going to turn sideways, plant my hands on the chair, right? So my spine is long. I'm going to take one leg back far enough so that as I bend my front knee, the knee stays over the ankle. So this is what you don't want to have happen, the knee beyond the toes, right? So knee over the ankle, gently float that back knee down. Bring the knees together, and voila, you're safe on the ground. So I'm going to move the chair. All right, and we're going to come onto our bellies. So part of the core is back strength, right? Especially if you're carrying a pack. So we're just going to do a little bit of back strengthening. And again, remember, you're your own best teacher with the spine. So this might not be right for you if you have stenosis in the lumbar spine. So to keep looking down at the mat, there's really no reason to arch the back of your neck. You're going to put your hands right under your shoulders, push the tops of the feet into the mat, and use your back muscles to just lift your shoulders. It might go an inch. So as you reach your toes away from your legs, away from your hips, you're keeping the low back long. And maybe you reach your fingertips towards your heels. Again, still looking down at the mat. So use your breath. Take your shoulder blades towards your waist. Strengthening the QL muscle, that quadratus lumborum, that holds us upright. Push the feet into the mat. One more time. Inhale deeply. And exhale, make a pillow for your head with your hands. And just rock your hips from side to side. So it's important to strengthen the backside of the body as well, right? So another transition, we're going to come onto our backs. Get these blocks out of the way. I need a production assistant. Okay, so you're going to take one arm forward for this transition. You're going to roll onto that side. Bend one leg to help you come onto your back safely, right? Scoot your hips back onto the mat. So you don't need a yoga mat. You can always just be on a towel or on your floor, right? So let's check in with our feet again, right? Knees, feet, hips, all in line like railroad tracks. Kind of tuck your shoulder blades under like you're taking them to the waist again. The back of the neck is long, just like when we're standing. It's like you're getting your shoulders away from your ears, all right? So nice firm foundation. Push your upper arms into the mat, maybe palms facing down. Take a couple of breaths here, just feeling the spine long. Good. So then you're going to draw your knees towards your chest, hold the backs of your thighs. So if your hamstrings are really tight, this is going to be challenging for you, because you're going to have to use your core muscles to hold your legs up more. So if I have nice long hamstrings, I can be in this kind of upside down L shape, and I'm not really having to use those belly muscles or the psoas to hold my legs up. If your hamstrings are tight and you've got your legs out here, you're using your muscles a lot more. So what you might want to do is tuck your palms underneath your hips facing down, right? Good. So for a few breaths, we're just going to move the legs alternating. On an inhale, take one leg down. Pull the belly toward the spine on the exhale and bring it back up. So just alternating. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Keep your shoulders soft. Back of the neck long. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time each leg. Really connecting the movement to the breath. Nice. So then we're just going to pulse. See what this feels like. Remember, no pain in the low back, so only go as low as is right for you. And keep the legs a little bent if you need. Exhale down, exhale down, exhale down, and inhale, lift. Exhale down, exhale down, exhale down, inhale, lift. I'm going to go a little further. Exhale down, do what's right for you. Exhale down, inhale, lift. One more time. Feet flexed. Exhale, exhale, and lift. I'm going to move my hands out, bend my knees so I look like a chair on its back. All right, so you want to pretty much do all these exercises till your belly muscles are shaking. So you might need to do more. Then we're just going to work the obliques a little bit. And keep our back strong. So on an exhale, you're just going to take your knees halfway to the floor to one side. Keep this upside down chair shape. And inhale back up. Exhale to the other side. Pull the belly in and inhale back up. Just keep going from side to side. Inhaling. Exhaling. One more time. exhaling. Come on back up. Plant your feet. So I'm going to grab hold of a blanket. All right. You could use a yoga block, like the foam ones, or a firm pillow. So we're kind of trying to get it to fill that space between our knees when we're hip width apart. So people often don't realize that the inner thighs are a really important part of the core. And it's important to do this movement working with the breath, right? So on an exhale, you're going to squeeze your blanket or block or pillow. Inhale, gently release. So this is something you can do while you're at your desk or watching television, just exhaling, squeezing, and inhaling, release. You can set your timer for like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Inhaling, release. Right. Feet stay wide. As much of the surface of the bottom of the foot in contact with the earth as you can. Just exhaling, squeeze. Inhaling, release. So this is a great tool for your toolbox you can do anywhere. And it's really going to make a difference in your core strength. So just one more today. And inhaling, gently release. Come on back to your back. Take a few breaths. Recall that intention that you set. Okay, so kind of a bonus pose here. I'm going to show you legs up the wall. You'll often see people doing this on the Camino after their walk for the day. So gently roll to one side, right? Got another transition here. Stretch one leg out. Use that top arm to push yourself up to seated. So the hardest thing about legs up the wall is getting into it. So what you want to do is scoot yourself as close to the wall as possible, right? Or whatever it is you're going to put your legs up. Maybe it's a pillar, a Plaza Mayor, or a stone wall. So as you lean back, you're going to pull your knees towards your chest and rotate your hips toward the wall. So using your elbows to help you come around, right? And then gently lowering your upper body to the mat or the ground. So it's important to finish out your practice with just a few moments, if you can, of stillness. So maybe your hands come back to your belly, closing your eyes, and just follow your breath. No more work. Take 2 more deep breaths. On this last one, maybe even exhaling out the mouth with a big sigh. Inhaling deeply. Sigh it out. So feel free to stay here as long as you like. We're going to come out of this pose safely just the same way you went into it, right? So you're going to bend your knees. Take your hips away, knees away. Roll to one side. Push yourself up to seated. Maybe come back to the mat or a chair. So I enjoy serving others by offering yoga. Hope you've enjoyed it. Remember, it's a journey, and so the more you practice, the deeper you can go. So as you inhale, raise your arms one more time. Exhale, bring them to your heart center. Inhale deeply. Exhale, bow your head to your own heart. So remember that the ability to be the best we can in our bodies enables us to make the gratitude and the service one thing. So get out of the head, into the heart, and the gratitude and the service become one. One more deep breath. The spirit in me honors the spirit in you. In the language of yoga, Sanskrit, we say namaste. So you can find me on Facebook, all one word, Almost Home Yoga. My website is the same, almosthomeyoga.com. Give me a shout out. If you'd like more help with yoga, Camino preparation, happy to serve. Have a great day.